tour is going to be all too short for your fans here. And the next thing we'll see of the Beatles is the film.
The film, yes.
Now, tell us about the film. We haven't heard a great deal about it.
Well, you know, it's us sort of meant to be acting, which we can't, but they've got a good director, you know, so they sort of almost make you act, you know, they cut it so well. You know, you do about an hour's rubbish, and he takes a minute out of it, and it looks as though you're doing quite well. Now,
is it an ad-lib film? Did you just go onto the set and carry on, or is there a storyline?
Some of it was ad-lib. Some, you know, they definitely had a script. It was written by Alan Owen, who writes good TV scripts.
Yeah.
And, well, we changed a lot, but it was a bit of trouble for the established actors, because we wouldn't give them the tagline, you know.
Well, Wilfred Bramble, of course, stepchild.
Yeah.
He was in the movie with you. Did he have any problems with you as a group carrying on like this?
Just the first, till we got to know him, you know, but he's one of, you know, one of those good people that can fit in anywhere, and he fits in good. Yeah. And he sort of got, you know, we found our level.
Had you a chance to get to know him, or vice versa?
Oh yes, we got to know him. Well, we were on it for about 8 weeks, you know. You do get, and he's in it throughout the film, and we got to know him well. You know, he's a laugh.
Now, in some of the press and television interviews you did yesterday, someone said to you, "Are you religious?" I think it was you. I said no. Now, does this mean you don't believe in God, or you don't believe in religion?
Well, you know, we settled for calling ourselves agnostics, because we don't, you know.
Yeah. And another question you were popped yesterday was about sport. Now, Australia's a great sport-loving nation. I think a lot of people may have been a little bit upset by your answer that you didn't like sport.
Well, we can't be everything to everybody, you know, in all times, or whatever they say. We're agnostic about sport, too.
What about when you were young, when you were kids, in Liverpool? Did you pursue any sport then?
Oh, yes, when you're a kid. I mean, it's not sort of a big, it's just something to do. And we used to play football, and I did when I was gave it up at 14, you know. That's when you discover the other things, isn't it?
Well, I was talking to Mimi on the plane coming over, and she said that when you were young, you were very serious. You did a lot of writing as an 8-year-old, and some of the stuff in your book, actually, she said you'd written when you were 8. Is this true?
Well, no, she got it wrong there, Mimi, didn't you, if you're watching? No, I was never serious. I was serious about writing, you know, although I laughed when I wrote it. But she means serious in as much as I said, keep it and stop throwing it away,
yes, yes.
You know. But I was never serious.
Now, how did you meet up with the rest of the boys? You've known them all for quite a long time.
I met Paul when I was about 16, I think. I was playing with this group at a church social, agnostic church social, and he just came up you know, to watch. And he knew somebody that I knew, and they introduced us, and he knew the words to one of the songs that I didn't know. I said, "Do you want to join the group?" And he did. And then George came about a year later, you know.
And when did you meet up with Ringo then?
Ringo, we met in Hamburg. He was playing with another group, and, you know, we thought we'd liked his style, but we'd only just got up the other drummer, so we couldn't do anything about it. But when we got the chance, we did.
Well, now the 4 of you are back together in Australia. Obviously, the reunion yesterday was a very happy one for all concerned.
Yes.
I think the 3 of you had missed him. This is the impression I've gotten all along, that there was something missing, or there seemed to be, and it was obviously Ringo.
Yeah, well, you know, it's bound to be. We've been together now, you know, all right. And it is funny when one of you is missing, even though Jimmy did well, you know. Obviously, it's not the same as the 4 of you together. No.
The crowds gave Jimmy a wonderful reception in Adelaide.
They did, they were very good.
But then when I think it was Paul, or was it you, said that Ringo was coming, they went wild. And then they quietened down because they realised they wouldn't see him.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yes. Now, getting back to your book for a moment, you've been compared to many famous writers. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's flattering, you know, but I haven't heard of half of them. I've heard of some of them, you know, but it's just good, you know. I don't mind who they compare it with.
And what gave you the idea to compile all the stuff you had and publish it?
Well, I'd got these odd bits, you know, sort of hanging around the house, and then we did these weeks in different seaside resorts in England, and we were stuck in the hotel like we are now. And so I just started doing more than I would normally, till it seemed it was piling up, you know. Then I started doing drawings to go with it, and then I sort of forgot about it. Then I met this American who was a writer, and I was talking to him, and he said, "Well, you know, let's have a look." And he showed it to a publisher, and they said, "Oh, stick it together," and we got a book, and that was it.
And it's just been released in Australia.
Released is the right word.
It certainly has. Has your picture on the front, and I guess, do you think your fans will buy it because it's your book and understand it? Do you think there's much hope of expecting this?
Well, this was the sort of problem in England. The publishers thought the fans would buy it. I wasn't sure, you know. I just thought some of them would buy it, because some of, they're not all stupid, most of them are at
this is
school
true.
still. So at school your brain's more active normally than it is when you've got left school and gone to work and gone, in the factory now, isn't it? So I thought it'd be a fifth form kind of thing. But it...
And it has been well received then by the teenagers who've watched.
Yes, they understand it. I get a lot of letters written in that sort of, back to me in the same kind of language.
Well, critics have been saying it's sick.
Well, I mean, some of it is sick,
It is,
so
yes,
what?
it is.
There's a lot of sickness about it, isn't there?
And this has happened in Australia.
Yes.
Does it upset you or the boys? Do you feel that you suffer because of this?
Oh, we don't suffer. We're bound to be a bit less healthy than people who breathe air. I mean, there's so many good things, to make up for it. Who's moaning? Me.
Now, when this tour's over, then you'll have a bit of a chance to get out and get some air, as you say, with your family.
I'm not sure, you see, because it's when the tour finishes, we go back and do the premiere of the film. It's one of those periods that Brian says, I'm not quite sure what we've got. And it all sort of fills up gradually with TV and radio. So.
Now, you mentioned Brian. I was going to mention it. How did you get associated with Brian Epstein, and how much do you feel you owe him?
Well, we owe him 1 and 6 exactly, but we owe a lot of our success to him, a great deal.
Yes.
Because I think we might have been able to make hit records because we would have written the songs anyway. This one's run out, and but we wouldn't have. He controlled us, you see. Anybody that tried to manage us earlier on couldn't get through to us, They'd last about a week, and we said, we're not having you.
So he's more or less gotten you and taken full control of
Yes,
you.
but he didn't take over as some people do, right, as if he just sort of walked in and said, right, cut your hair like that, put this suit on, any of that. We were already there. People sort of said we were dirty, or we weren't dirty, we were just in jeans because we couldn't afford anything else,
A lot of people have said that Epstein has emerged as a genius of show business. Do you agree with this?
Well, I'm a bit odd, I don't like using the word genius, but there's so many geniuses on LP covers and things like that, that I think he's done more than anybody expected him to do, which entitles people that don't know what's happening to call him a genius. He's very good. I wouldn't say he's a genius.
I want to ask you one direct personal question. Is he a friend?
Oh, definitely. You see, we can't get on with anybody for a long time unless they are a friend, because we're so closely knit.
Well, I've noticed this with the others in your entourage. How many of them are really very close to you?
Well, Neil, he's our personal road manager. Well, he was in from the start. He went to school with Paul and George. And the other fellow, Derek, we've known for about a year. But he's sort of one of those people that clicked as soon as you meet him, So and Malcolm, we've known from the cabin. He carries the guitars round, and all that. Well, he used to work at the cabin, the big bouncer, throwing all the teddy boys out.
Well, John, I've said it 100 times already to you, but I hope you have happy memories of your Australian trip when you get home and can think about it.
Thank you, Malcolm.
And
We will do.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What do you feel your